800 metres to 820 something, on top of a hill in state forest, and yeah, the radio is IC 7000, ICOM 7000.
CQ Field Day, VK3 Echo Radio Portable, VK3ER Portable beaming towards Melbourne, VK3 Echo Radio Portable listening.
Alpha Victor Victor.
QRZ, VK3 Echo Radio Portable, VK3ER Portable. QRZ, VK3 Echo Radio Portable, VK3ER Portable. Go ahead, over.
0.1.
0.1, dead, right, okay.
Okay, he's going to tune up 0.1.
He's got half an antenna and I've got a full antenna.
He'll have to peak it up and then we'll have to peak him up as well. Okay, we're sending out a little beeper. TPR's on Mount Martha. He's just sent us a carrier and we've peaked our beam up on that, which is this direction here, about where we expected it. And we'll give him a beeper. He then peaks his beam up because you're talking about 1 or 2 degrees at best. So it only needs to be just that little bit off, bit of wind blowing, and it can make the difference.
Thanks, John, and yes, look forward to the...
Yeah, we'll just see how he went with that.
VK2 TPR, VK3ER. How'd you go there, Peter? Oh, sorry, I doubled with you. How'd you go?
You was there, Vic. Kilos 3.
Okay, go on 10 gigs and have a contact. QSL, we'll give you a call.
VK3 TPR, VK3ER Portable listening. VK3 TPR, VK3ER Portable. VK3 TPR, VK3ER Portable, 59 plusity plus, just shows you. VK3 TPR, VK3ER Portable, how do you go, over?
No worries there, Peter. I'm like a one-handed paper hanger here. I'm just trying to peek on you a little bit more, but it's pretty good anyway. I've got you at about a 5.9.
Yeah, there we go.
I just put my papers on the ground. I'm never going out portable on my own again. It's too much work.
He wants you to talk to him.
Okay, that's great. Well, you're 5.9 here, and you'd be 59006. 59006. VK3 TPR Portable, Mount Martha. VK3 Portable, Mclaughlan's Lookout.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. My number to you is 59025.
59025, that's great. So I think we've worked on all the bands we can at the moment, haven't we? Over?
Yeah, button for punishment. I've also got 2.4 gig with a dicky setup, so if you want to persevere, you can probably work me on that as well.
Oh, of course we can work you on 2.4, no problems at all. So what frequency on this 100 on 2.4?
Yeah, you're going to be fine. 2403.9. I've only got 1817, which I'm using for a transverter on 23, a transverter on 2.4, and a transverter on 10 gig. So I have to disconnect and move over to the other machine. And you won't believe this, I've only got one power cord between the other 2 transverters, so I have to juggle that as well. But I'll be on 2.403.1 in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Roger, roger. Okay, we'll be listening for you when you call. 2403.1, VK3ER Portable, QSY.
Yeah, thanks, Peter.
Okay, so that was 10 gigs. Now I need to dial up 147. He wanted 100, so we're going to go 105 here. Because we're about 5 kilohertz out at the moment, for some reason. It's about there. And we go to 2.4. Preamps on. And we'll just have to sit here and wait until he gets it organised. And we're beaming in the right, oh, not quite in the right direction. Let's bring this round a bit. About there.
Presumably 2.4 is a lot easier.
Yes, the beams. But if you have a look out the window, I don't know whether you can see that, we just worked him on 10 gigs, which is the top dish. And you can see that top dish, we're looking at the back of the dish obviously, you can see the direction it's pointing, it's sort of away from us to the right a little bit. Okay? Away from the right. Yep. Now, and then if you come down to this low dish, which has got 2.4 and 1.2 on it, you'll notice that the low dish is also pointing in the same direction. Okay, and that's, they're both offset feed, and they're both about 26 degrees offset. So provided the dishes are all pointing in the right direction, you're going to be within a few degrees. And because at 2.4, you got about 5 degrees up your sleeve, whereas the 10 gigs is a lot sharper. Of course, at night time it's a bit of a guess because you can't look out the window. But that's all right. You're breaking up, Peter. Breaking up. You're breaking up there. Bad connection somewhere, Peter, but you're very strong. Yeah, something's breaking up there. Something's breaking up. So perhaps just talk a little quieter. That's much better. Right, VK3TPR, VK3ER portable. You are 59008, 59008, over. Three TPR, VK3ER portable.
Thanks for the 59008. My number will be 59026.
Okay, 59026 I got, and you're 59008. QSL, over.
QSL, all good. And yeah, thanks for persevering with me there. It's a bit of a juggle because that's my first contact on 2.4, so I never had it set up.
Okay, Peter. Yeah, no problems. You're about 20 over 9 here. We've got the beam roughly pointing in the right direction. Okay, will we be able to hear you later on this evening, or are you going to call it quits?
No, I'll stay here. I don't know how I'll go in the dark, but I'll stay here for as long as I can persevere. I'm sort of planning to do the 8-hour single operator and see how I go, so keep working at it.
Okay, well, you call Jack at some stage on 2 metres and we can try the same arrangement again. Cheers, VK3ER portable clear.
Yeah, thanks Peter. VK3TPR clear as well.
There you go.
All right, thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Max. And thank you, Mike, over here on 6 metres.
Control here for 2.4 and 1.2. The crystal oscillator, we've got 2 crystal oscillators. This one's on this one or that one, which is oven controlled. That's not working at the moment. GPS unit here with its own power supply. The quadrupler for the 6th overtone oscillator into the transverter. 5ME design. Control unit for the transverter. Various coaxial relays. This relay, for example, switches the 1.2 amp straight through to the dish antenna. Or it switches the other way into the output of the transverter. Underneath this box, the bottom side of it, is the Spectrian amplifier for 200 watts on 2.4 gigs. First of all, we're going to show you the power supplies. We're running 2 Honda EU20s. Jack's about to fill up one of them, which we're running them at different fill rates at the moment. And you can actually hear the revs change on the one on the right hand side because Mike's transmitting on 6 metres at the moment. It takes a fair bit of power out of the generator. Okay, we'll just watch Jack fill this thing up. This particular generator has done about 1,000 hours. It's been on about a lot of field days, but also been on 4D expeditions, and it works extremely well. It's never missed a beat in all that time. You notice the power line filters down here. They're mainly when we're operating in the John Moore field day, which is we were operating on HF as well. They've got a 20 amp inline filter plus toroids and all that sort of thing. So the power comes out and you've got 2 different outlets that are both filtered. You notice we're running, forgetting the blue cable, which just runs a light, but the red and orange cables, they're the ones that are feeding to the main tent. One cable does 6 metres and 1296 upwards, and the other cable does 2 metres and 70 centimetres. Righto, what do we move now? we'll go, whoops,
We'll leave Jack
we'll leave Jack to his devices.
All right, we'll just keep going.
Well, Jack's going to move the petrol, take the petrol away. There it is, bingo. First time, every time. All right, we'll move over to the 6 metre Yagi. Okay, it's a 4-element Yagi, and you'll notice in the centre of the boom there is a big die-cast box. In that box is a masthead preamp plus a relay which enables us to switch from the horizontal beam to the 6 metre Ringo, which is on top. And the Ringo is tuned to 52.1 to get some of the standard call operators on 6 metres who can't work down at the bottom end of the band. And the 4-element Yagi is set up for 50.150. Mast's about 5 metres high. You'll notice how it's guyed in 4 ways. We always do it that way so that we can tilt them over very quickly. And down at the bottom, you've got one of many of the KR400 type rotators, or the FU400 as it's called. Each rotator is mounted on a plate with a hinge. So all one does is release one of the guy ropes, and then you can just hinge the thing back down to the ground. It's pegged into the ground. We've got that on all of the masts. Works really well. Okay, that's 6 metres. We'll move over to 2 metres. Now the 2 metre setup, you've got 2 lots of 6-element Yagis. They're in pairs. Jack's moving the thing around now with the rotator at the bottom, of course. The 2 vertical Yagis are phased, and there is a vertical beam for FM stations on 146.5 megs. And the 2 horizontal Yagis, it's a bit hard to see the Yagis horizontally because they're almost side on to us, but they're stacked one above the other, and they're set up for 144.1 megs, and they're used for the sideband stations and so forth. One of the fiberglass poles that the club was selling, they're about 6 metres long. And you'll also see up in the middle of the antenna there's a switch box which enables you to switch from the horizontal to the vertical. And just a simple Cat5 type cable that switches the relays, and a normal coax cable that comes in to the shack. You'll notice that where the masts are guyed, there's a little loop of coax. This enables you to rotate the Yagi the full 360 degrees without any interference. Alright, we'll move on to 432, which is around the other side. Do we know this is switched on?
Yes,
oh, we do,
it's
right.
Working perfectly.
Okay, now we're going to look into the sun here, so we might have to come on the other side. Now we're running a similar setup as we've got on 2 metres. This time you've got the Yagis are somewhat more elements. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 elements. 15 elements on each of the Yagis. So you've got a stack of horizontal Yagis, which you can see quite clearly from this angle, and you've got a stack of vertical Yagis. And once again, the vertical Yagis are for the FM band on 432, or sorry, 430, whatever it is. I don't operate there, so
440.
Yeah, 439 or 438 or whatever it is. And then you've got the 432.15 for the horizontal Yagis. And once again, you've got a box in the middle, which is the switch box. They did have masthead preamps in there as well, but we find that they're not very reliable, and we tend to use the preamps that are in the amplifiers of the rigs. Okay.
Okay, excellent.
Righto, next one is 1296.
Okay, fine. Thanks a lot, Peter. And
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the contact.
Come around this side. Okay, can we see that clearly from there? Right. Okay, 1296 and 2.4 gigs. What we've got here, and I might even use my handy pointer here. This will do. Handy pointer. First of all, the dish is an offset dish. You'll notice that it's not in the centre of the dish, it's actually offset. So the signal is actually hitting the dish and going off at an angle, 26 degrees to be precise. In this box here, we've got masthead preamps for 2.4 gigs and for 1.2 gigs. And this is the 2.4 gig side, and you'll notice there's the feed line. It runs to the probe, which is in the cylinder, if you like, call it that. Sometimes called a coffee can feed. That's a horizontal probe. So that's for 2.4. Then on the other side, I have to, it's a bit hard to see, perhaps we can get around here. On 1.2, it actually comes out, the feed comes out and it goes into a splitter. So it actually splits the signal into two separate feeds, which we then have to come around here to see. We should have somebody organised to rotating. And we've got two dipoles, two stacked dipoles. Each one of those dipoles is fed from behind this sort of ground plane, that sort of ring. So the two of them form a stacked Yagi with its phase centre around about there. And then from there, that corresponds to the focus of this offset dish. So the signal then boom, hits the dish and off she goes. And later on we'll demo how effective the dish is as far as directionality and that sort of thing is concerned. Brilliant. Okay, now moving to 3, 5.
How do you rotate that? There it is.
Oh, yeah, yes, rotators. Okay, rotators. We've got two, once again, the FU 400 type rotators. These things are permanently mounted on this trailer. And then just feed lines into the tent. In the case of the 1.2 and 2.4, we've got a single feed line, this one here, and a control cable, and there's a relay which switches between the two different feeds. Now we come to the other dishes, 3, 5 and 10 gigs. 10 gigs is at the top, 5 gigs is the middle one, 3 gigs is the lower one. Now each one of those dishes on its arm in the high-tech plastic covering, in other words Glad bags, is mounted a transverter, masthead transverter for each of mounted on the actual feed arms themselves for each of the bands. And there are feed horns which you can sort of make out, it's sort of in there. That feed horn for 3 gigs feeds the signal to the dish. It's an offset dish, once again it's about 27 degrees, so the signal's actually heading out, basically we're in the direction of that yellow pole, so it's at an angle. What it means is that the actual feed horn is not in the path of the dish, which means that you effectively get the whole of the dish as a radiating device. What's the other thing? Oh yes, now the control cables for these transverters all run an IF of 145 megahertz. So each of the 145s come down to this switch box in here. And there's a series of relays in the switch box, which unfortunately you can't see because it's a clear plastic top. But with each one of those relays, you've got 145 megs IF. You've got a control cable for that particular band, which switches various relays, and you've also got on those little BNC connectors, which you can see in there, 10 megahertz, GPS locked 10 megahertz signal. Okay, and then there's a common on this side, which is the in for input. You've got a common control cable a common 10 megahertz GPS control signal, or clock signal, and you've got your 145 megahertz, and the 3 cables go back to the tent for the actual transverters and control unit and so forth. Now these transverters phase locked on 10 megs, so the accuracy of the 10 meg signal means that you've got a very accurate output signal, whatever band it might be, and the whole thing just rotates on this cable. So in effect you've just got 3 cables which does the 3 bands. That's your IF, that's your GPS 10 megs, and that's your control cable. And in that control box there's a half a dozen relays which switch the various bands. You can't. The problem is you can't transmit on, say, 145 on 3 gigs at the same time as it's not receiving on as it's receiving on 5, because you'll blow the guts out of the transverter. So you've actually got to control which band you're putting the IF into at a particular time, and that's what the relays do. Okay, what's else? That yellow pole, by the way, has just got a little HF antenna on. Now, the HF antenna, we normally use that for the John Moyle field day when we operate on HF as well, but we're just up there as a temporary antenna, nothing special about that.
In case all else fails.
Yes, I suppose so. The other thing too about the trailer, you'll notice that the trailer is, just bear with me for a sec, when you start dealing with 10 gigs and 5 gigs, you're talking about beam widths of about 2 or 3 degrees. So it's important that your dishes are aligned vertically. And as you can see, if you can focus in on there, like so, and similarly on this side. Now, it's not as critical on the 1.2 and 2.4, but particularly on 10 gigs, it's very critical. So what we do, you'll notice right up at the top of the dish there are some guy ropes. Yep. And we can tension those to get this particular mast absolutely vertical. All right. We're still not convinced that that's the most, or the most accurate way of doing it, but it's really the only way we can conveniently do it at the moment. All right, let's adjourn to the tent, I guess.
All right, let's go.
Okay, this tent, by the way, has been through some pretty strong winds over the years. It's very, very, and not only winds, but rain, all that sort of thing. It's about the largest of these sorts of this style of igloo type tent you can get. Has a fly sheet over it, so you don't have problems with condensation. And you'll notice that the cables come in both sides. There's a number of multiple entry points, so we try and separate off the various bands from each other as we possibly can. It can get pretty hot in there because there's not much wind today, but we can usually open up all the flaps and so forth and get a bit of draft through, and that seems to be able to make it relatively tolerable. Okay, now we adjourn into the tent.
Okay, off you go. You go first.
Okay, 6 metres we've got Mike 3AVV, who's also the man who writes the software for VK contest log. So any faults in the log, we blame him. An IC7000 is the principal transceiver. It's driving an amplifier, which is a Tokyo High Power? Yeah, Tokyo High Power amp. That's why when he's transmitting, you can hear the regulator, the generator suffer a little bit. That tuning box there is for HF, so we'll forget about that for the moment. You'll notice that each of the stations it's 3 UHF on 150. Each of the stations has got the contest log going. You notice that the laptops are actually linked together. So if we look very carefully, we can see, where's Jack at the moment?
Jack on 144,
right.
170.
Just up here. Can you focus in on that or not? It actually shows where each of the 270 and 6 metre operators are at what frequency they're actually on at the moment. From this location, because the things are networked together. Rotator for 6 metres, and in here we've got a sequencer so that when you're transmitting using the amplifier, you don't blow the guts out of the masthead preamp. Masthead preamps here. We've got a signal we can demo the preamp on.
Well, there's one signal there at the moment, but it's pretty loud.
Oh. Who's he working?
Echo November, and the home call is VK3ER. VK4BZT, VK3 Uniform Hotel Fox, over.
Is he there? Oh, he's pretty weak. That's without the preamp?
Roger, roger. Oh. Queen Fox, 2-1, Charlie United. Queen Fox, 2-1, Charlie United.
Have you worked him yet?
Yes, I've worked him.
Now, that's with the preamp? That's without the preamp.
Yeah, no base, signal base.
Off? On.
For the contact, it's great. As long as it's complicated.
Makes a difference, doesn't it?
Pretty effective. Yeah. So it's definitely worth having a 6 metre masthead preamp, particularly for the weak signals. All right, we'll move over to 2 metres.
VK3 Echo radio portable listening.
We've got Jack Triple Whiskey operating,
Turn the volume down.
an IC706 transceiver. The amplifier is at a, I don't know what it is now. Oh, it's another Tokyo high power amplifier. I think it runs about 160 watts out or something like that.
VK3ER.
Runs off a 40 amp power supply. Jack has a switch box here where he can switch between FM and sideband, in other words switching between vertical and horizontal polarisation with his Yagis. And he has a little remote switch on PTT thing for his 706 rather than using a hand microphone or a Vox, which is totally useless in this context. He's talking to Ross 3 Mike Yankee on 144 at the moment.
He's wandering through the band. I'll get him to stop at 170. And
all right.
You can give him the
There we go.
contact there.
That's it.
Over. MY on 170.
Okay, we go have a look at Max.
November Yankee.
Righto.
Mike Yankee.
Yeah, Mike Yankee.
Oh, yeah,
Mac.
right.
Mike, Ross.
Radio portable.
Okay, similar setup. 706. This time we've got a
some warning when you're going to do that, will you? VK3MY.
Tokyo high power HL250 that runs about 250 watts output on 432. Very effective amplifier. We've been using it now for about 5 years. Hasn't missed a beat. Beautiful piece of equipment.
59067 was it?
We were about to put a 2 metre one in of the same type because they're so reliable.
CQ field day, CQ.
Once again, Max has got the capability of switching from horizontal to vertical polarisation with a little flick of a switch,
And we're still in
from the vertical to the horizontal beams.
VK3MY. You've got a signal in that, mate. God, that's big. That's loud. VK3MY, VK3.
CQ field day.
He's got the earphones on, so we can't hear. All right, we move on to 1296.
You go past.
Okay. All right. First off, the 1296 and up is not networked. It's just too. It just becomes too complicated when you're trying to operate on a whole lot of bands. You don't know whether you're Arthur or Martha, basically. So 1296. We've got a. We're using a TS2000.
Is that the X model or?
It's the X model, yes.
Yep,
so it's up on 1296 150 at the moment.
Yep.
The rotator for 1.2 and 2.4, this one here, and this rotator is for the other microwaves, 3, 5 and 10, which at the moment they're pointing roughly towards Melbourne. Now I'll give you a demo, and of course from this is about up to about 10 watts output. That then feeds across to this amplifier, which will do 400 watts out on 1.2 gigs, and it's loafing at that. Because it gets hot, so you want to just keep it that level.
Solid state.
Solid state. Yeah, it's got eight different, 4 pairs of modules of MOSFET. Yes, yeah. The output of this goes into our control unit, which is where the 2.4 gig amp is, and then it's just a flick of a switch to go from 1.2 to 2.4. And I'll give you a little demo of the preamp on that thing, which is on at the moment. Okay, what we'll do is we'll whip up to, because it's no use doing it on a close one, we'll go up to we'll go up to the beacon down in Sale. 3 RGI. Now that's it there. That's without the preamp. That's with the preamp, obviously very effective. Now let's look at the actual beam itself.
Echo radio, and thank you for 42002.
Okay, it's basically disappeared. Now if we take reading, that's about 110.
034, Queen Fox.
Oh, well, it comes up again.
Charlie Mike, yourself.
Okay, and we're now to about 130. So I've got to really... It's disappeared. Why has it disappeared?
QRZ, Victor Kilo 3, Echo Radio, portable listening.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Oh, here we go. There it is there. It's pretty weak.
Yeah.
But without the preamp, it's there, but you struggle to hear it. Now that's down Mount Tassie way, so it's a fair way away.
Yes.
A couple of 100 kilometres. Yeah. All right. That's on 1296. Yeah, that's 1296 434 or thereabouts. Okay. So that's 1296. Now, when we come up to the higher bands, go to 2.4, using the same transceiver. Oh, I should also say that in this control unit, you've got your sequencers for the same reason that you have them on the other bands. If you're going to use an amplifier, you've got to be able to protect the masthead preamp. So the sequencers are built into the actual control unit, which I had in parts before, but I don't want to pull it apart now. Okay, so for 2.4 gigs, we changed the IF to 147. Let's whip it up here. This should be on 145, but we've got a bit of a problem at the moment.
QRZ is VK3ER.
Okay, so that's 147. Now we flick across. Okay, we're now listening on 2.4 without the preamp, with the preamp. You can hear it come up. Now, if we're lucky, okay, that's Alan XPD's beacon.
Oh, yes. At his house, or?
At his house in Burwood.
Yep.
I'll take the preamp off. You can see that there. Flick the preamp off.
Victor Kilo Echo Radio, VK3.
There's that. That's without the preamp. And you'll see how sharp it is.
And Queen Golf 63 Lima Foxtrot. Yourself.
It's off.
Thank you.
It's gone.
73.
5 kilohertz off. They're a bloody nuisance.
There it is, about there. So once again, it's pretty sharp. That's on 2.4530. No, so that's not right. 24530. That's right. Okay, so that's 2.4.
How many watts is that running at Alan's place?
At Alan's place, I'm not quite sure.
But a few watts, just
yeah, a few
not,
watts.
Not
yeah, not too much. But it's a very good takeoff from here. Now, in this control unit, we've got the 2.4 gigs transverter. So we're transverting 147 up to 2.4 gigs, and at the bottom end of this thing here is a 200 watt 2.4 gig amplifier. One of the ones that comes from the States, a Spectrian amplifier. A lot of it's been taken out, but it's basically it runs 200 watts output. So the output of this and the output of the 1.2 share a common coaxial relay, which then goes up the coax cable, and up on the dish itself there's another coaxial switch which switches between 1.2 and 2.4 feeds.
And when you're operating the higher bands,
Yeah.
higher than 2.4, such as the
Yeah.
3.4, 5.7 and
Yeah.
10 gig bands, presumably
No worries there.
you're not running 200 watts at that point.
No. No, about 3 watts. Okay, so for the higher bands, the higher transverters, what happens there is we change, the IF changes to 145. Let's bring it down to there in a sec.
Now, have you worked big on any of the 23 and above bands?
Okay, we'll just bring down 145. Usually 145, 100 or thereabouts. Now, I'll take that off for a tick. So we're now listening on 145 IF, and that's Jack. That's Jack transmitting, so we forget about that. When he stops transmitting, I'll flick each of the transverters on and you'll actually hear the noise come up. Oh. Probably, it's a little bit. Oops, that's Jack.
That's Jack.
When he finishes. Okay. 5.7, 10.3. 3.4 is a bit down at the moment, it needs to be retuned. I haven't got 24 gigs set up on the thing at the moment. There's no preamp because the transverter's are directly mounted right next to the feed of the antennas. Get rid of that. Alright, and the power supply, 28 volts and 12 volts. It's a 28 volt switch mode power supply. One of the dongers that Alan XPD was selling. It has the common problem of moisture. If you leave it overnight in a tent like this, when I went to switch it on this morning it wouldn't start. But after about 10 minutes of warming the tent up a bit, works no problem at all. So it's just a bit of moisture, but the 12 volt power supply is actually a couple of switch mode power supplies back to back, separate from the 28 volts. And all of your power comes from there, and you've got all the various cables that just connect to the back of the transverter. Now I think what we might better do, get a shot in there, and if we swing this around.
VK4, Kilo Lima Charlie, thank you very much. We're coming in nice signal here.
You can probably get a shot.
036, and we're Queen Fox.
Yes.
WRE wants to try you again on 2.4 and above.
Yeah, righto. Do it now?
You want to sit down over there and
Yeah, we'll do it now. Righto.
Do it for the camera.
Do it for the camera, alright, just a sec. Well, we start off on 1296 as our liaison.
No, he can't. There's too much noise down his end. So 2.4 maybe?
It'd be better if it was 1296.
Yeah, but he says he can't hear. There's too much noise at his end. He's just clobbering out everything.
What do you mean?
Okay, do you want to just try on 23 there, Ralph?
Yeah, do that first.
Not worth it all, right?
Queen
He'll hear us for sure.
62, I missed the rest. Thanks, and
So,
your name.
click on this up
name
here.
here is Mike. Can you come again, please?
We can give him a 1296 150.
So 1296 220.
220, that's fine.
Okay, he's just tuning up that now.
12345 VK3ER portable. 12345 VK3ER portable. 12345 12345 VK3ER portable. 12345 VK3ER portable. 12345 VK3ER portable. Any copy? Over. 3ER portable calling VK3WRE. Any copy? Over.
You give us a call there, Ralph, and we'll see if we can peek a little bit.
He's not on the front. He was not there.
3R.
Yours there, Victor Kilo 3 Echo Radio.
It's got S4 noise for
Yeah,
us.
right. Okay, VK3WRE, VK3ER portable. How do you copy? Over, over. 3WRE, VK3ER portable. How do you copy? Over, over. Okay, well I got this beam pointed towards you now, so if we use this as the liaison frequency, now what you want to do the other bands in order, do you?
Well, we were trying to do 2.4 and that didn't work last time, so but we've got an hour or so before we can work on the others. Just looking in the log here. It's 2.4, but we didn't get 3.4, so 35 and 10 is where we need to go.
Okay, well I'll get you in the log for this one. You're 5.9. Oh, where's that? Wrong band. On this band, oh, we can't work you in this band. That's right. Okay, so we'll bring up 2.4, which we were able to work you on. So, what frequency on 2.4?
We already got you on 2.4. We're going to go there. It's 3.4. 3.4.
Okay, 3.4. What frequency?
160.
160. Roger, roger. I'll go down there and I'll put my little beeper going on 160. Okay.
Yeah, roger, roger. I'll get set up. I'll point the dish your way.
Right, here we go now. Now I've got to put that off. That's the 3.4. Change bands here. Go to 160. Put my little beeper going. There we go. Okay, that's putting out on 3.4160. It's putting out a little thing out.
Into the radio, is it?
Yeah, it's hooked. It's using the recorder on the radio.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a cricket.
It's an idling RTTY station. I recorded. Thought it'd be something a bit different. Yeah, on HF. Yeah. Okay, you'll notice we know it's transmitting because you can see a little flashing light there on 3.4. Okay, we'll flick it off and then we'll go and have a listen on 1296. Okay, 3WRE VK3ER portable. Any copy? Over. 3WRE VK3ER portable.
Yeah, roger, Peter. Nothing heard at this stage. If you've got a key up, can't see it. Just give the wait there for a while. I'll just put it on there.
Okay, here we go now. We may have to adjust these a little bit. So what we're doing, this is the 3.4 dish, so it's, if you look out the window there, it's the lower of the small dishes. And it possibly might have to come around a bit. It should look exactly the same as the lower dish in terms of the direction it's facing. Okay, let's try that. We'll switch that off. Okay, there he is. Yeah, we need to be a bit more accurate. See how it dies away when I turn the beam away? There we go, that's a good... Okay, that's about it. So I'll flick there. Okay, we're copying you loud and clear with your beeper there, Ralph. Do you want to give us a call on sideband?
Alright, you can hear my beeper, can you?
Yeah, it's S9 here, over.
Roger, I heard absolutely nothing you heard. That was interesting. Alright, I'll go to SSA.
Okay, here we go. VK3ER portable, calling VK3 Whiskey Radio Echo.
Yeah, roger, VK3.
There we go.
VK3WR, yep, that's works well. I've just got to find a logbook now, stand by.
Okay, we're on. What are we on? 9 centimetres. WRE. 59003. 59003. Over.
Yeah, QSL 59003. QSL. My number here will be 59062. 59062.
052. Roger. QSL 59052. Over.
Yeah, QSL.
Let's get rid of this. Okay, go back to 1296.
Roger.
Okay, this is VK3ER portable calling VK3WRE. Our copy?
Yeah, roger, no worries, roger there. Alright, I guess we can do 5.7 at that rate.
Okay, so do you want to put up your beeper again on 5.7 and I'll make sure I've got the beam pointing correctly? It should be, but we'll just double check.
Yeah, roger that. Give me about 30 seconds and I'll put it up there. Use Rob.
Roger, roger. Okay, here we go. Where's the 5.7?
VK3ER.
Let's make sure he's on the same frequency. There we go.
VK3LL, 3 Echo Radio, portable listening.
It's about there. Right. Okay, we're hearing you loud and clear on 5 gigs, Ralph, over. VK3WRE, VK3 portable.
Yeah, roger all. I go to SSB on site.
Roger. VK3 portable, calling VK3WRE.
Romeo, VK3WRE portable.
VK3WRE, VK3ER portable. How do you copy, over?
Yeah, beautiful copy. Yeah, excellent. Number to you, 59053. 59053. QSL?
QSL 053 or 59002. 002, over.
QSL 59002. Excellent. Are you detecting any appreciable shift at all on my frequency? Do you think it's drifting around at all?
No, it's just jumping. It's just jumped. It's on 162. Now we're GPS locked, so it's just moved by kilohertz. That's all.
Yeah, roger. Yep, no dramas. Okay. Yeah, I've had a few issues, but hopefully that's okay. All right. We'll set ourselves up and we'll do 10 gigs. 10 gigs next. Same frequency, 160.
Roger. You put your beeper up now, and we'll have a listen for you.
Roger.
Okay, we now go to 10 gigs. See where he is. Not much there yet. Just make sure he hasn't gone somewhere else. Nothing there. I go back to 1296. 3WRE VK3 portable. Nothing heard at all on 10 gigs, over.
Yeah, I might have to tweak it back a little bit. I'm not sure of the absolute direction, but stand by.
There he is. Pretty weak. Okay. Okay, Ralph, we've got the beam heading for you. Now, if we put a carrier up and you can have a listen for us, over.
Yeah, roger, that sounds like a good idea. I'll have a listen for you, right?
Yeah, you're up about 164 this time, so you've moved another 2 kilohertz up. But here we go anyway. He's still on. That's funny. Oh, there he is. He's off. Okay, here we go. Bit warm.
No, it's not warm.
What? Okay, let's see how that went. Okay, VK3WRE, VK3ER. Any copy at all, over?
Negative copy at this stage. Not sure what's going on there. Hey, bloody taking contact, so it's working.
That's right, and we've done the same thing. So it must be just conditions. Do you want to put your beeper on again and we'll just double check that we're still hearing you okay?
Roger.
I'll just swing the beam right round. It's pretty good there. Okay, we're getting about S4 or 5, about S4 or 5, Ralph. So if we want, we'll put our beeper back on again and you have a listen for that. Over.
Yeah, roger, roger. Go for it.
He's got his switches on. There we go. There we go.
VK2SMC VK3ER 5555060 55060 from Queen Fox 22 Charlie Mike Curve 22 Charlie Mike, over.
SMC, that's good. VK2 SMC on 2 metres at the moment. Okay, VK3WRE, VK3 portable. Any copy, over?
Okay, really going up on 70.
3WRE, VK3 portable.
I think we get a contact out of it, unfortunately. I think we're firing actually through an inversion layer. I'm up above it, and you're probably just below it, I'd say.
160.
Yes, okay. Well, look, we'll try later on anyway in the evening. You'll be there all the time, won't you?
Yeah, roger that. I'll be here until, the time we pull up in, but yeah, we'll be about.
Yeah, what time do you plan on finishing?
Oh, I'm going to do the 24-hour section, but I'll probably pull up in about 12:31 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well, look, in a couple of hours when it's cooled down a bit, we might be able to get a better go at it. But your 5 gig signal was very strong.
Yeah, right, I've got a 2.3 metre dish on 5 gigs, so it's on a beat. So 5 watts and 2.3 metres.
Oh, right, okay. All right, we'll give you a call a bit later on. No, thanks, Ralph. VK3WRE, VK3 portable.
For Whiskey Alpha Tango VK3ER portable.
Bye-bye. Who was that? Somebody on the side? Right.
Well, thank you for that, Peter.
You got any questions, Ralph?
No, I want one of these.
You want one?
And one of these.
Yes.
And one of those.
And one of those.
And I've already got one of those.
One of those, yeah, righto.
Thanks for the tour.
Yeah, you notice we're online, by the way, so we're on the internet, so we can, not that we're using it, but we're monitoring the VK logger at the same time, mainly to see whether VK9 turns up, the blokes on Norfolk Island.
Oh, yes.
But no sign of them on... oh, actually, I better log in just a sec.